Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another live stream. What is up, guys? A lot of BB news. Netanyahu. I'll pass on that. Pass on that. Thoughts on Trump wanting to arrest Adam Schiff? He wants to go after all the top Democrats, and we'll see if anything comes of it. There's a lot of talk. There's little action, but they're subpoenaing people, so we'll see if that leads to something. It's Wednesday. Yeah, I have noticed the weekend a little bit more. I used to never really, once I got out of school, I really didn't matter. Well, I mean, I guess it matters in terms of when I was watching college football and stuff Saturday. But I have more appreciation for the weekend nowadays. I don't know if it's just my schedule changed or what. I mean, my schedule really didn't change that much. Beto needs to be made an example of. O'Rourke, well, he was talking about the gerrymandering. I mean, they're just angry. They're not going to be able to gerrymander as good as Republicans are for 2026. It's going to give Republicans an advantage. They're mad about it. So they can be mad about it all they want. It's really not going to change anything. You think Trump needs to go after Powell? Powell is really untouchable. They tried to get him for the renovations. I mean, but what do you really get him for? Cost overruns? I don't think that's going to. The Congress has to do that. I don't know if you've seen the Fed Watch tool, but they really need to cut in September. If they don't cut in September, I do think. I don't know what you can really do because it's like he's just doing it to spite Trump. But where's the true evidence of it? You know. At the end of the day, he's making calls. They say, well, we're looking at the macro, not the micro. Well, I mean, it's very obvious that he's kind of holding off on cutting despite Trump, but they need to cut for sure. How do you think the Trump and Putin meeting will go? I really don't have a ton of optimism unless I hear something different. It seems like Putin and Ukraine and Western Europe, they're at far different ends in terms of whatever the negotiation is. So unless Putin decides to give in to some of the demands that Russia previously had, or Western Europe decides it's not worth continuing and we're going to appease. Well, I don't know if maybe I shouldn't say appease because people will equate it to something else, but if we're going to give in to what Russia wants, maybe that's the way. Either something's going to have to change between Ukraine and the Western allies or Russia. I mean, that there has to be some give and take. And I don't know if Russia is threatened enough to really change their stance on it. I mean, it's obvious they want land. The question is how much. And will Western Europe allow for that to move forward? Because Ukraine is being emboldened by Western Europe. Yeah, I know his term ends in May. I was thinking of doing a Discord thing where you guys can call in and have a conversation with me, but I don't know if it's worth it. But I know that Powell. I know his term is up in 2026, but the question is, we would like the cuts to happen right now because, I mean, not just because of crypto, just because the market conditions dictate a cut. And I'm so tired of all these people acting like, oh, because we didn't have the exact perfect inflation report, we can't cut. Well, you're never going to get that. It's never going to be perfect. Yeah, we want to cut because of crypto, but the cut should happen anyways, really. The cut should happen because the inflation is under control enough. The economy needs to be stimulated. Is YouTube Premium worth it? Yeah, I would say 100% it's worth it. It depends how much you use YouTube, though. If you don't use YouTube a lot, or if you use the desktop version of, because I never use the desktop version of YouTube. If you use the desktop version of YouTube, you could, I would imagine, still use an ad blocker. Although I know they're making it harder to use ad blockers. But premium for sure. If you use YouTube on mobile, 100%, it's worth it. Yeah, I would never be able to switch back. Well, the thing is I had premium for like 3 years. Then for some reason, I think I had to get a new debit card or something, so I lost my premium because the subscription ran out. And then I re-got it like maybe a year and a half ago. And there's no way I can't deal with ads anymore, man, on YouTube because I watch too much of YouTube. YouTube, X. I mean, that's what else? Reddit sometimes, Telegram for crypto, Dex Screener. That's really the apps that I use. There's a hurricane brewing in the Atlantic. Well, isn't it? It's getting to that time. It normally September, October. You get the hurricane season for sure. You think the Discord call idea would be fun? Yeah, I mean, if the streams get too stale, I think the getting on call with people and it'd be a better conversation than me just talking. Do you consider yourself nonpartisan, bipartisan, party affiliated, or independent? Well, I mean, I'm definitely more conservative for sure. So I'd be more conservative or I guess Republican affiliated. Is it better to rent or buy a home? Well, it depends where you're at in life. By and large, people will tell you to buy because it's ownership, and if you rent, people say it's just wasting money. But again, it depends where you're at in life. If you buy, it's a mortgage, it's higher payment. You could rent for just 6 months, get in, get out. Yes, you don't own it. It's kind of a waste of money, as people say. But I think renting serves its purpose for young people for sure. It depends where you're at in life, though. Would you have me on a call? I mean, I'd have anyone that is willing to do it. That is willing to if you want to ask me a question or something. Property taxes depends how big the. Well, I mean, normally if it's a smaller home, it's the property taxes aren't going to be that bad. But yeah, you have to worry about property taxes if you buy. Do you think Trump will pardon Maxwell if she talks? I don't think so. I can't. It seems like it would just be a very bad look for the administration to pardon Maxwell, no matter what she says. I can't see how doing that would be a would because really it's a public relation battle now with Epstein because this administration is not going to release anything no matter what that implicates Trump. So now it's a public relation battle. You got to get people back on your side, and you can't pardon Maxwell and do that. I mean, she would have to give up like two or three huge Democrat names to get the Republican people happy, and you hate Benny Johnson's AI thumbnails. Yeah, they are crazy, man. People talk about those a lot on here. I see. I don't know who it is. It's like an AI something or another. It's a good designer whoever puts it together because it's not fully AI. You have to be able to put it together. There's no way there's an AI that can create that type of. I mean, unless you have like some high powered high powered AI image text to image. Although even that, I don't know. The two biggest Democrat Epstein clients would be Bill Clinton, Bill Gates. It's turning into clickbait. Well, that's what every YouTuber does is clickbait, especially with the political stuff nowadays. You have to just clickbait everything because otherwise, when there's not much going on, it's harder to get views. So everything has to be clickbaited. Sometimes the news is good enough to where you really don't have to clickbait that hard. Thoughts on Trump calling out Lindsey Graham? I didn't. I'd have to look at that. I wonder what the context is with that. Well, it's good. It's a neocon. Lindsey Graham has been. He came out and supported Trump with the Russia situation, Russia Ukraine situation. He's always been very pro war with Russia. All right, let me look at some of these posts. Trump is doing a big something a big. He's always does these statements where they say he's having this big statement tomorrow. Trump accuses Democrat officials of fabricating crime statistics. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but even if they didn't, I mean, they still have the fourth highest homicide rate. But the other thing is what they do is they'll change the quotas of felonies and things like that. And I mean, they did that in New York City, I remember. And so it's a big incentive for them to bring, to list the violent crime rate as less, to de-incentivize reporting of violent crime, because that's something that liberals are very susceptible to. They don't like imprisoning minorities for crimes. And so I mean, that's their entire identity almost when it comes to crime. Obviously, you're going to have more crime. Even liberals should admit they foster an environment that creates more crime. They kind of want to. They say it's because racism, that's why they commit the crime. So there's going to be more crime with liberals in charge. So they have to try and manipulate the numbers and change the definition of what a violent crime is and do all this other stuff to try and bring it down. Because obviously, with the policies that liberals have where they want to send social workers out instead of police officers, there's going to be more crime. There's going to be more victims. It's going to be a worse place to live. Especially the liberal areas where you've got all the diversity. I mean, it all comes together and it just creates a total mess. And even the white collar liberals now are saying what Trump is doing is a good thing, and they're admitting there's a lot of crime in DC, and because of how liberal DC is, the local governance is not going to put the proper police force in, because now you see some of these liberals, these black liberals, come out and say, I feel unsafe when there's police. That's what they say now. So when you've got stuff like that, there's no way liberals are going to enforce any type of law and order in a major city. So that's why Trump has to come in and do it. And then they scream and they say, well, he's overstepping. Well, he's the president. What do you want him to do? He doesn't want to see the major cities. And see, it's the tantalizing thing with being president. You have all this power, but then, I mean, you can't even really clean up major cities, really? I mean, if the local politicians are not going to do their jobs, I would, Trump's going to come in and, because it's a bad look for Trump. All the complaints with cities, do you have any evidence that a Republican control structure would be any better? Rudy Giuliani. What did Hunter say to the first later? Must have missed that part. Melania Trump is suing Hunter Biden. Somebody said that in the chat. So I don't know if what was it during one of Hunter Biden's podcasts he was on or something. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. Defamation. Hunter Biden said Melania has strong ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, so it was this podcast. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to sue for defamation when you're a public figure. Very challenging.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. the connections are like so wide and deep.
And by the way, when he said that, it's very likely false. The idea that the only person that ever said that he introduced, because I looked this up, Epstein is the only person that said that he introduced Melania to Trump, and he said it right after Trump won the election as like a bragging thing. But apparently there's no eyewitnesses reports, and people say, well, no, that's not how they met. So maybe this could be successful. I don't know.
Anyway, why do we think they don't want the files released? I don't know. I think John, that thing that John Heilman says is like a long time ago. I think is the most accurate kind of assessment of them, which is everything is projection or confession. Everything. So when he puts out that tweet and he says, Epstein now is the Russia hoax or the Hunter Biden laptop.
The laptop from hell, which the Democrats swore came from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom.
Like, I wonder if it works. Do you know what I mean?
In your home state of Washington, they always blame Trump tariffs on the higher prices, even though the state government makes those things. Right. Well, the tariffs have been shown to not really have much of an impact on inflation at this point. So they're lying, especially food. Food, they've had no impact. I mean, they'll pick out certain sectors, things like that, but they blatantly lie. But they don't even know what tariffs are for. They don't realize. I mean, us offshoring all of the production of our goods is not a good thing. So it has to change. You have to force it to change. You do that through tariffs. If you're satisfied with China making everything for us, I mean, I don't think that's a good position to be in for the United States. Dude was drawing dicks. I don't know what he's drawing. All your good coins up over 12% today. BTC, all the big coins are up right now, man. Look at Ethereum is reaching a new all-time high. All the coins are up right now, and it's going to trickle into the alts, into the memes, and so that crypto is going to surge over the next 3 or 4 months. Imagine we get the rate cut. We get the rate cut in, what is it, mid-September with the Fed meeting, then it'll be very, very good. Any Greenland news? I don't think there's any Greenland news. You see the stuff about the administration decriminalizing weed? Yeah, dude, I would go in the opposite direction. Honestly, I'm not a fan of weed, but it's like that to me. This would have been like a maybe it is still a popular policy. I don't know, because it reached a point, and it was like led by Joe Rogan. I feel like where everyone was like, weed is not that bad. Weed is fine. Alcohol is worse than weed. But weed is, I don't think it's good for a society, I would argue. I certainly don't think the smell is good, and it being allowed in public is good at all. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of them doing that with weed. And I thought they wouldn't do it because it seemed like people were kind of going back. It's like gay marriage. Now people are going back on it and saying, actually, it's not good. Because I was like, you'd be, people would hate you if you said that, 5 years ago. Now the Supreme Court is talking about it. I don't think they'll do it, but weed not good for society. Sending cops with AR-15s at weeds. Well, that's you're being disingenuous. Do all cops go at and with AR-15s to weed smokers? Come on. I just think weed. Yeah, I think weed is probably more bad than good for society, and This movement that weed is this great thing. I don't think it's good, and I don't think it should be in public. I don't want the smell in public. It's like the smell of cigarettes. It's not a good smell. What about the Canada news? This one guy on YouTube is making a video every day. I'm not sure what's true on the West provinces. Well, I don't think it's the West provinces. I think it's only Alberta. I don't really think any of the other provinces are close to seceding from Canada. I think Alberta will probably have a vote. It's looking like not much is going to come of that unless Trump gets involved. That's what I would say. That's a situation that they have to have that referendum. I don't think they're having that referendum until next year, from what I saw. Smell of weed is far worse than cigarettes. I don't know, but cigarettes are just, oh. The smell of cigarettes is stronger, though. Yeah, I did see this. Trump has a higher approval rating than Obama or Bush. Obama's second term, Bush's second term. That is pretty funny. Cigars are the way to go. Appreciate the donation. Thank you, Chris. As someone who smokes an occasional joint, I'd agree that weed smells worse than cigarettes. Cigarettes have a pungent aroma. The problem with weed is the smell gets everywhere. With the weed, the smell of weed gets into like fucking. It gets into your car seat and shit. But I guess the cigarettes do as well. There's a cigarette smoker. Their car smelled so bad. The smell stays. It just stays. Yeah, there's tons of ways to ingest THC. Well, that's a problem. Ingesting it is a big issue. Edibles are a big problem. You do edibles. Edibles react differently with digestion versus just smoking a joint. I would recommend people don't do that. I would recommend against edibles. You don't really know how your body's going to react chemically to edibles, or you really need to start off slow. Yeah, edibles will fuck you up if your body is not chemically, uh, if your body has, it's not chemically aligned with something with THC. You will have issues from edibles for sure. Bitcoin 124K. Who cares about politics? Yeah, dude, I think Bitcoin maybe 180, well maybe 200. I mean, it's 180 to 200 as the cycle top. And it's probably going to be in November is my guess. Sometime in November the cycle top will be around 180 to 200. It could even be upwards of like 220, 250. I mean, cuz think about it. What would the market cap even be like? 3-4 trillion. Gold's market cap is 22 trillion. So I think it's shooting for gold's market cap. That's the most valuable in terms of market cap. It's crazy that some of your 9/11 videos are 9 minutes 11 seconds. Yeah, but I used to do that on purpose. That's why. You've been putting $5 a day towards Bitcoin. Well, it's going to be tough to make a return off of that. $5 for, or an asset that's worth $2 trillion. You're not going to find a return off of that. Bitcoin may have another 30 or 40% in it, but you have a severe drug history, went to rehab, got out, and was staying out of the crazy shit. You ate a homemade edible and was so out of it, your mom thought we withdrawed from dope. Yeah, no, it is true. Is that the first time? What did you just have you just made the edible yourself? The edibles are you want to stay away from the edibles for sure. I've had an issue with the edibles as well. They're not they're too it depends. Some people react to them and they don't feel anything though. It really depends on your chemical makeup. It's very interesting. You have 8.56 Bitcoin. So you got like $1 million in Bitcoin is what you're saying? Yeah, dude, if I owned Bitcoin, it would honestly be very tough to sell. Like I would never want to sell Bitcoin because it's just such a long-term asset, Such a long-term asset. Like it's hard to sell it even though like a cycle top. You have 100K to burn, should I buy Bitcoin? No, no, don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Bitcoin unless you want a safe asset. If you want a safe asset, yeah, but you're buying Bitcoin almost at the cycle top. Or you could maybe get a quick trade on it, but you can't even buy a full Bitcoin if you've got 100K, man. You could buy like 0.82 Bitcoin. Trump just got a tie with Rasmussen and got his best poll from YouGov in months. Oh, is that why the approval is kind of going back up? Yeah, I saw Rasmussen, but Rasmussen does like daily polls, so it's hard to really, react to daily polls is challenging. I would say like take a week composite from them, a week's worth. Physically can't sell. Yeah, well, it's hard to sell Bitcoin because it's so backed up by. Scott Pressler announces to officially place voter ID on the ballots in California, Washington. Yeah, they're not going to vote for this though. Those people aren't going to vote for it. Actually, they might vote for it. It is pretty popular, voter ID. Even in liberal states, it is pretty popular. But I don't know if California would vote for something like that. Rasmussen only saying it because they're YouTube numbers. Yeah, well, when a pollster does YouTube, it can be challenging. Robert, I appreciate it. If you DCA Bitcoin, make sure you do UTXO consolidation. I don't know if I would consider. I mean, the dude said he was putting $5 in every day. I guess that technically is DCAing, but you're better off. You're better off trying for a coin with a lower cap than that, man. Surprisingly, their daily polls are extremely consistent. They don't jump around much. Well, that's good. That's good if their daily polls are consistent, like over the course of 4 or 5 days. There should be similar numbers because it's not going to change that much. But it's challenging to do daily polls, man. That doesn't seem like. Once a week I could understand. Even once a week, I think most of the pollsters do maybe once every 3 weeks or once a month. Obviously, when you're talking about like the election time, that's a day. Remember Atlas Intel? I think Atlas Intel did like 7 polls in the span of 3 days, and I was like, all right, enough. Like right before the election, I remember it was just they kept doing new polls. You think alcohol is fair game? Yeah, well, I mean, alcohol is. I'm not a fan of alcohol either, and obviously, it in social environments with drinking and driving, I think it's bad. I mean, it is. But people are adults; they're gonna do it. It's what can you do? Juan, what's up, man? Did you see Anna Paulina Luna on Joe Rogan today? Most of the comments just simped for her. Yeah, she is hot. Yeah, I did see her on there a little bit. She was talking about extraterrestrial beings and stuff. Something about that. She said they've got evidence of of other beings from another dimension. I mean, I don't know, man. In terms of alcohol, you always wondered why bars don't take people's keys. Well, I mean, people could. You can't. I mean, how do you do that? What if they're not even the ones driving? What if someone else is? What if they only get one beer? What do you mean take their keys after like 4 drinks? If you want to hit a million, you better hurry up. According to Harvard professor, aliens could be coming to kill us in 150 days. Defund Harvard even more after that. Defund Harvard. What they say? They're saying aliens are coming again in 150 days. ETH is going to the moon like 60K in the next. No, 60K? It's not going to go to 60K, man. 60K would be a much higher market cap than Bitcoin. Why is Trump Israel first? Because they have blackmail on him. So there's really not much. I mean, what do you want me to say? Useless coin to 10 billion. I mean, yeah, useless coin will probably be pretty. You know, there's a based useless. Maybe I have to take a look at that. I saw that coin. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so a few of those Solana coins are gonna run to multiple billions. The useless will probably be one of them because you've already got Fartcoin, you've got useless, you've got Troll. So there's a few of them that you've got the Aura coin. What are the chances we go to war with Mexico? Shinebomb said that she wouldn't tolerate the U.S. intervening in Mexico, but if the cartels keep doing their shit, we're gonna have to. Yeah, I think that whole thing is a mess. What is Mexico gonna do against us? I mean, the way I see it, I see it as it's a government that's partially controlled by the cartels. So whatever the government says is on behalf of the cartels to a degree. That's how much corruption there is in Mexico. So the problem that Trump is going to have if you take out some of the cartels, it doesn't necessarily solve it. It may create a worse situation long term because then there would be even more animosity against the United States if the cartels aren't fully eliminated. You can try and go after the cartels, but I feel like it would have to be a coordinated effort with Mexico. And I think they're too, like, their government would have to be fucking overthrown or something. Their government is controlled by the cartels, I think. So it'd be challenging. UTXO is a transaction of Bitcoins consolidating. It's good because it saves money on fees when selling. It's basically like exchanging 100 $1 bills for a single $100 bill. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you DCA or you trade Bitcoin, that's something that would be a good that would be a good tool to use, I guess. Did you see Newsmax CEO today saying we need to support Israel? No, I didn't see that. It doesn't really surprise me, though. Nobody cares about Epstein or this dog shit anymore. Like, I want illegals deported, just lower prices. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I think the Epstein stuff, it's going to die down just because of people are not going to want to talk about Epstein for fucking 4 straight weeks. People get bored. So, but look, I mean, it's obviously a bad thing within the administration. I mean, so it is what it is. But no one wants it to be analyzed for 3 months straight. Stocks doing well, Bitcoin going up. I know, and imagine this is without the rate cuts. I just think with the rate cuts, it's going to be, because that's also going to be just the overall economy. It'll be the market. It'll be the stock market. It's going to be a lot of new money introduced for sure to the stock market and crypto, especially with retail entering possibly during, or maybe retail is already in, but retail really entering like the meme coins in the winter. Do you think the POTUS actually likes Kid, or it was just bad company with Epstein? No, I don't think. I don't think Trump is involved with it to in any crazy way that would incriminate him ridiculously. I don't buy that. Rate cuts now a question 0.25 versus 5.0. Yeah, I think they might do 5.0, but I mean, who knows with Powell? They really should do 5.0. They did 5.0 last September. Coinbase app is way down in trending on. Yeah, that's a top indicator, right? I don't know if that's an indicator. Well, I guess it is. It's like the dumbest indicators are the most accurate ones. When the Coinbase app is number 1 on the US App Store, that's when you know the top is in. Brandon Johnson. Trump is intimidated by my intellectual prowess. Come on, man. That's got to be a joke.
With them great, actually. We had the Russia. I had to go through the Russia hoax, and it was actually it was a strain on the relationship. I actually told them. I said, they got this phony investigation going on, Russia, totally phony, created by Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Hillary Clinton and the whole group of them. And it made it very dangerous for our country because I was unable to really deal with Russia the way we should have been. I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. These people put our country at great danger. And Adam Schiff, it was all made up. It was a hoax. The Mueller report came out. They all hated me. They had 18 Trump haters. And they said I did nothing wrong. They couldn't believe, they couldn't find anything after years of investigation. It was all a hoax. It was a hoax created by the Democrats, but in particular Schiff and Crooked Hillary, the whole group. And now we've learned all the stuff that's come out over the last 2 months is incredible through intelligence. And hopefully something's going to happen with it. These are people that put our country in danger, in real danger. I want to thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So there's Trump talking about going after Adam Schiff for the Russia investigation. Do you think Yeah, I think Mr. Creeper. I think it's the New Testament is supposed to usurp the Old Testament. Obviously, Jews don't believe that. The Epstein stuff is not special. The problem with the Epstein stuff is it's more of a foreign. It's a foreign government involvement. It's the problem. You're the Fuentes guy. You just listen to Alex Jones. Yeah, I like Alex. It was his whole topic 3 days ago on his show. He's not a Fed. Yeah, I don't know about any of that, but I'd be surprised if he was a Fed.
Will Russia face any consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war after your meeting on Friday?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
What will the consequences
There will be
be?
consequences.
Sanctions, tariffs?
There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences, yes.
Will Russia face any consequences?
Yeah, well, what are the consequences exactly? Hopefully it doesn't impact oil, but it probably will. Remember, lock her up with Hillary. Are you guys certain you'll be seeing any arrests? I think Trump might try and arrest someone that's not high level, honestly. I don't really think people have much confidence in there to be any arrests. There's just been too much fake talk from the administration before, from Trump before. People have lost confidence in there being arrests. But I think because Trump had the mugshot and faced the charges, he's going to try and get someone. He's going to really push for it. But I don't know who they'll be able to get. Consequences are going to impact oil, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, how annoying would that be? I think Trump knows if there's anything that goes on to Russia, it has to just be a quick pressure tactic, a quick pressure campaign, and then it gets removed. Because it's a big issue, man. Imagine we fuck with the energy prices because of this. I mean, I guess if it ends the war, it'll be maybe worth it, but it's just not something we need to mess with right now. Yeah, we've got the economy in a good spot. But I think Trump knows even if there is something that happens and they sanction them, it's only going to be for a short period of time, or it's going to be in a way that doesn't significantly impact. I think the only way he sanctions them if he knows the Eastern countries are not going to, at least India is not going to buy Russian oil, or he'll be able to do something, because it's just going to end up being the same thing. They'll just sell to the Eastern countries only. You say the next step with Ukraine or Trump getting frustrated, abandoning Ukraine funding, Ukraine continues to try and hold out until they can't. Yeah, but what does that even look like? Hold out until they can't. So Russia's going to take over all of Ukraine? I mean, I don't know. But I mean, I guess the Western European countries would still fund them. Yeah, if Trump gets a peace deal, that would be amazing. Trump's going to name Fed Chair Jerome Powell's replacement early. Yeah, I don't think Powell's going to resign because of it. Powell is now, it seems like he's basking in this rivalry with Trump. If you saw his previous statements, so I don't think he's going to resign. Even if Trump names a new chairman, and it's not going to be Bissent. Did you get a haircut? I got a haircut a little while ago. Not too recently, but kind of maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Statehood is ridiculous. We want to straighten the place out. Statehood's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. It's the Democrats want it because the Democrats have, about 95% in this little area. Even I didn't get it very much. They want.
Yeah, but statehood, when it comes to qualifications for a state, there has to be enough. I mean, even Rhode Island, right? There has to be a certain amount of land area. The District of Columbia doesn't meet the standard. They just want 2 senators and a governor.
They want to pick up 2 senators, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And that's the least of the reasons why, by the way, but that's one of the reasons why.
What about Puerto Rico?
What we want to do is make Washington, D.C. the greatest, most beautiful, safest capital anywhere in the world. And that's
He doesn't seem to respect Trump enough to want to troll him. Well, if you don't respect someone, that's the reason you would troll them. If he doesn't respect Trump, that's the reason he would. But Powell is. I mean, Trump appointed Powell, and then Biden reappointed him. I don't know. I think Trump obviously has made it to where Powell does not really want to cut, but it's not going to matter. I mean, he's going to be forced to cut. If he doesn't cut this next meeting, then people know. People know it's clearly a screw job. Really, I don't think people are going to be happy with a 0.25 cut. They want a 0.5 cut. Bigger impact on our country, Titanic or 9/11? Titanic was a ship that was registered out of the Liverpool, so it wouldn't have a big impact on the United States. Well, I mean, I guess if you want to say creating the Federal Reserve, that's not. It would have been created anyways. It's not the reason. It's not the reason it sank. Or why do you keep saying the Twin Towers collapsed for our sins? Best case scenario for the 30 days of occupation Trump has in DC before Congress has to extend it. I don't know, man. This is all short-term stuff. They have to put in long-term policies. That's how the crime gets solved. These the local liberal government's not going to want to do it. Well, they should just keep extending it indefinitely, honestly. When you have liberals admitting that Trump is doing a good thing, that's when you know the crime is really bad. That's when you know it's real bad. A lot of it is just, I mean, they can't prosecute minorities. They don't want to. So they don't put, they made it to where, like, strict crime and police presence, well, they made it to where police presence is racist. So when that happens, it's like, how do these cities get fixed? Make a video on the Civil War. That'd be interesting. Remember the submarine videos? What other sudden tragedy would make for some great videos? Yeah, but I think the submarine thing was mainly because of timing. It was like a news update thing rather than it being documented history. That's why those videos got views. You're not ready to see $75 WTI crude again? Yeah, imagine. Well, we saw it during with the Iran situation. I thought that was gonna be it. I thought we were fucked. I mean, but it's a headache. It's a headache if that happens, man. But maybe it's another situation to where it's quick sanctions that come off because he puts the sanctions on and then it pressures Russia and then they agree to a deal. That's what I hope happens if the sanctions go on. Thoughts on Zoran Mondani? You will say, don't call him Muslim. He supports legalization of sex work. Well, I mean, he supports that because that's the liberal policy in the United States. That's why he supports it. Like, if you want to be a socialist, you need the people that are going to be socialist, and socialist people in the United States support all that shit. Thoughts on John Gruden lawsuit? Does it have to do with the email that he sent? Was it like some racist email or something that he got fired for? That's the only thing I know with John Gruden. You remember there were videos with countdowns until the oxygen would end, and it turned out it didn't even it imploded when they were going down. So basically, it happened way before then, before they would ever run out of oxygen. People thought they ran out of oxygen at the bottom of the ocean. People are starting to turn on JD Vance. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some right wing people get to turn on him. I don't know if it's really that. It seems very localized to the internet, like people turning on Vance. I think Vance has bigger issues just because he's not Trump in terms of getting enough people to vote for him. Everyone must vote Dem in Ohio. That's not going to happen. I saw a poll where Vivek was only up by a point, which surprised me. Surprised me a little bit. Now, Ohio's a Republican state. Vivek got Trump's endorsement. I would be shocked if he lost. You're hoping I do some NFL weekly picks? Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, man. The thing with the NFL is I just don't watch it as much. I mean, I could still do weekly picks and be fine doing them. Like, I have enough base knowledge of it, but I don't know if I want to do them. Your wife likes Vance more than Trump because he's a bit more even. Yeah, I could see Vance appealing to but the problem is you appeal more to like independents a little bit more, I guess, possibly Vance could appeal to rather than Trump, but you still have to get low propensity conservatives or people in the rural areas. I think that could be Vance's problem. Over under Hurricane Eric making U.S. I'd have to see the path of it. This is from June. Oh, it's so this is next Monday. Have you seen the guy on YouTube holding the trans woman are men? No, I haven't seen that guy. Well, they've got it at a category 3. In the middle, well, on the western side of the Atlantic.
I can also tell you, and this might sound crazy, but based on our investigations and stuff that we've seen, okay, there is definitely something that I think would rival what we know currently with physics, and a tech that potentially is out there that we don't have the ability to reproduce, because it would basically be like dropping a cell phone right off back during the time of maybe caveman. So like we just don't have the tech to develop it yet. What I can also tell you is based on our interviews, and this has been something that you can go back and watch with the congressional hearings, but I was actually able to ask some of the witnesses, you know, what are these things? And they keep saying interdimensional. And then when you talk about the interdimensional aspect of, you know, are these things pre-existing, maybe outside of what we currently know as our own dimension? That stuff can kind of all sound crazy, but at the end of the day, you know, my job as an investigator is to receive all the information, decipher it, and then ultimately from a congressional aspect, if you do have contractors that are withholding information or operating outside of the purview of the federal government, I mean, there's budgetary issues, but there's definitely something that I can tell you with confidence that exists that we don't know how to explain currently.
So when you say that it operates outside our understanding of physics, what specifically are you saying? Like what happened?
To I guess break it down and
Did you see the Maine voter ID initiative qualified for the 2025 ballot? The Dem section state was worded at Super Belly. No, I didn't see it, but they do that. They make it very challenging. They don't want Democrats don't want state ID. And they have no real answer as to why, except minorities can't get their own IDs for whatever reason. It's the same thing over and over again. Bring attention to the fact that your ancestors from Italy and Sweden were proud to assimilate to the American melting pot. Dude, Vivek does not share the same sentiments. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're talking about European immigrants versus Indian immigrants. Is the rate cuts and trade deals the only thing holding back the economy? Well, I mean, we have a record high stock market. Look, the economy can be measured 100 different ways. You know, you could argue that a crash is necessary for the housing, but it's not going to happen. We don't want that right now. That's the last thing we need. There's really nothing. I mean, the only thing holding it back would be the high interest rates. I mean, if it's already at all-time highs, it's just going to keep making new all-time highs basically under Trump's presidency unless a geopolitical event happens. It seems inevitable. Did you see the YouTube? Yeah, I saw the AI age verification. I wonder, I don't know the exact story on that. I'm not sure if it's really affected people, or I guess we'll start seeing reports on if people are getting the notification where they have to show your ID to watch YouTube. That's insane that got passed so quickly. Yeah, AOC is a bit overrated now, you're right. Does the Tesla Cybertruck become the DeLorean 2.0? They aren't selling at all. It's hurting Tesla more than helping them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the problem is, I think, well, they're not expensive anymore because they started at, didn't they start at like 120, 130K? Now somebody was saying they were down to 70K, or they were down to 60K in terms of cost. Yeah, I don't know about a Cybertruck. The Cybertruck, they look like they should be driven on Mars. They don't look like they really, like, I understand you're saying it's an exotic, it's a unique vehicle, but it just does not really fit in with the American road. It just does not look good. Even in a unique sense, it doesn't look good. It feels like something that should be driven on Mars or the moon. Well, just another planet. I see like 2-3 Cybertrucks here and there. They're rare. They are pretty rare, and it's not like the area I live in. It's like solid middle class. Cybertruck will look really dated in a few years. Well, I mean, it depends. It depends what gets released. But it's such a unique model. You think Cybertrucks look worse? I think they look worse on the road, just in comparison to other cars. They just stick out like a sore thumb. They also look bad in parking lots. Yeah, this guy's happy about what Trump is doing. Multiple law enforcement officers. Shit. Is that supposed to say shot and they censored the word shot? I mean, what are we doing with this fucking X? Like, they censor the word shot because apparently it would mess with their revenue as a verified account. Really? Come on. Yeah, I don't know what that is, man. I really don't. USC, they're not going to make the playoffs, man. No. They remove words that can get them sued. That's not what that is. It's because if they have the word shot, it's seen as a violent thing. So the advertisers, I guess, are going to demonetize the tweet or something. I don't know what it is, but because if it's breaking, I mean, how do you get How do you get sued for saying people got shot because it was a report? Would you have voted for Bush in 2000 election? That election would have been, yeah, not great chances, not great choices in that election for sure. And there's, I see it so many times. These highways get just washed out. Chattanooga. X accounts should be able to apply to be specific accounts to be immune to censorship, demonetization. Yeah, but you know, that's not how it works with advertisers though. If it's something that's too subjective, that's too provocative, or you know, advertisers I guess don't want to be attached to that. But I don't even know how that works. How does that work exactly? Your tweet gets demonetized? That doesn't even make sense. The ads are going to be shown on X with or without your tweet, I feel like. But I'm not even sure how you really generate revenue. I guess there are ads on X, that's true. I think whatever they did to X, bringing the payment system, it's hurt the platform. Trump wouldn't have won in 2000. He did run. He ran with his own third party. He was not going to win. Flash flooding today in Pennsylvania was so bad, people's basements filled with 5 feet of water. The basements always flood, yeah. Alex Jones offers to host a debate between Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson. Yeah. We'll have to see if Tucker decides to do that. He probably already said this, but how do you think Ukraine's recent strike will affect Trump-Putin negotiation this week? Well, I think they're striking each other. I don't think, because that's like, what is Putin going to say? I'm justified in continuing my attack because they struck us. Like, there's been so many times where Putin has had a conversation with Trump and then he'll drone strike Ukraine. So I don't really think a recent strike, unless it was really a crazy action, I don't think it's going to have a big effect on the present negotiations. But I think either way, I mean, they're too far apart. They're just too far apart. I think it seems inevitable there's going to have to be some type of sanctions. Either Trump's going to abandon Ukraine or there's going to be sanctions onto Russia. Because what else really happens? It's like there's nothing really going on. So Trump is trying to force the action. Imagine Alex Jones as your moderator. Yeah, Tucker might have to call in Candace to be the moderator. Call in Candace. Make it nice. Make it fair. Imagine 2028 presidential ticket. Tucker as president, Fuentes as VP. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Tucker really wants to run, honestly, man. I don't think Tucker wants to run. But that's what they all say, so who knows? You know, there's really... Is Tucker really going to run against Vance? Unless something happens to Vance, I don't think it's likely. Tucker's interview with Ted Cruz was pretty funny. Yeah, well, Ted Cruz didn't know much about the history with Iran and Israel, and you think Ted Cruz would do some studying before that, but that divided people. People didn't like Tucker for going out. I was surprised the amount of people that pushed back against Tucker. I thought it was good. Thought it was good what Tucker did, but people didn't like it. Or some people liked it, some people didn't. Do you believe the fifth plane theory? It's hard to say. Dude. What happened with the fifth plane was really... It's almost too weird for it to be a coincidence. But then again, it's almost like I don't believe the actual story because it's so... Like, so there's 4 guys, they found box cutters, but the guys disappeared before they could be located. I mean, if it's true, I think you kind of have to believe it. Like, it's too perfect, and it happens on the morning of 9/11. Tucker's laugh is kind of cringe. Yeah, remember that? Dude, he was going crazy with that laugh. I remember reacting to it. It was so out of control. But he kind of keeps it on. Sometimes he keeps it under control, I feel like, most of the time. And then there's just some clips where his laugh just out of control. You have 150K in cash. What should you do with it? I can't advise you to do anything with that. You'd have to consult people, and depends on your risk tolerance. Depends where you're at with your finances in life. Didn't Candace and Nicholas Fuentes agree to a debate? You think you heard that on X? Candace reached out to him to offer a debate. Yeah, I think she wants to debate him again, or she wants Charlie Kirk to debate him. I don't know anymore, man. They just keep talking about debating each other. I think Charlie Kirk might have to debate him, but Charlie Kirk said he didn't want to debate him, so I don't know. You should buy a BitTensor is what you should buy if you... No, I'm kidding. Buy a good AI project. Remember when the guy last year in the chat who blamed you because he bought Dark Maga and it crashed? I mean, it doesn't surprise me. But it really, I mean, it did crash after the election. I guess we could see it coming, but yeah, it's unfortunate what happened to Dark MAGA. 150K, and yeah, you shouldn't have 150K in cash. That's true, unless you have it in a safe and you've still got a lot of money in a bank account. Alex Jones said he's going to call Tucker to host a debate between him and Fuentes. Yeah, I mean, my only thing with something like that seems like a pretty big debate. I think they should try and do that in person. I think it's better when the debates happen in person. But we'll see if that ends up happening. Nick and Candace clashed in DMs last month. Nick screen recorded it. I mean, what is this? This is more drama than high school. This is more drama than fucking The Bachelorette. You think you should invest 150K in real estate? Real estate kind of seems, when you've got something like crypto, real estate doesn't seem worth it. But I mean, I guess it depends. It depends your risk tolerance. Depends your risk. But I don't want to control. I guess you could have somebody do it for you. But if you buy real estate, that's your property, so you have to maintain it. Ugh. Marine, you need to, if you want to live in a safe neighborhood, you need to visit the place and tour the neighborhood, and also look up the area and things like that. And bought storage units and rented them. Is that a side hustle? 1.3 million gain in 4 years. What, your Bitcoin investment? You're 20, so you have a high risk tolerance. Yeah. Well, I can't advise you. I would go into crypto, honestly. But now it's tough because now you're kind of catching the cycle top, which is, it's not the top, but it's getting there. Yeah, there is always Nasdaq 420. You're right. Nasdaq's on a dip. This is a good end. No, I'm kidding. This is a good entry point. No, you want to buy Nasdaq? We'll give you a Nasdaq to buy. We'll hook you up with a Nasdaq. You like Nasdaq? The boomers tell you to buy it. Who is Nick Fuentes? He's a Mexican American political right wing influencer. Catfighting on Twitter this past week between supposed conservative e-girls over the size of a wedding ring was, yeah. To me, it almost seems like it's fake for clout. But honestly, it's probably not. Those women they just hate each other. Clyde's doing fine. Yeah, Clyde was sleeping today. BTC dropped 200% on the war on Ukraine. Yeah, no, I mean, like, it was definitely a bearish thing, the war, but it was also, I mean, it happened in 2022. That's the year after the bull run ended. So it was always going to be a bearish time for Bitcoin, after 2021, with or without that war. That's like correlation causation. But if peace is achieved in the bull cycle, no, I agree. I think it would be even better. But we don't really need peace to be achieved. We just don't want there to be crazy sanctions that would boost the price of oil. Yeah, this chat is definitely not mainstream. That is true. Mainstream is like mainstream is just this like Fox News and CNN. People in the energy sector say the same thing. Energy is going well, and sanctions are the. Yeah, I know, and I think Trump knows that. The thing is, if Trump imposes sanctions, I have to figure they're going to be very quick. It's just going to be to pressure Russia, and if it doesn't work, he's going to take them off. Now he'll get criticism for it. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The point is, you try and get the war ended. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We're not going to sacrifice the economy and the energy prices for it. We can try and pressure them, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What if Putin wants Alaska when he visits? Yeah, it is. It's funny. That's like an Alaska joke, because it's an interesting meeting point. Putin demands Alaska back. That's why you never give up your land. The Russians sold Alaska. Now how much is it worth? It's an insane markup. You never sell your land, but we'll buy it. But we will buy Greenland. See, Denmark realizes you never sell your land. They're going to lose Greenland anyways, though. They're going to lose it anyways. the boomer final boss tweet. Everyone stop what you're doing. Watch Mark Levin. The final boss. Dude, you're just trolling. Trump is considering swapping some Alaskan islands so Ukraine can get back land. No. There's zero chance Trump would ever consider that. You can't troll like that because we know Trump too well. We can have Greenland. I mean, we could invade Greenland. They can't do anything if we invade it other than cry to NATO. But they would cry to the European Union. Then the European Union would try and sanction us. Well, he did say that Israel was going to annex some territories in Gaza. Trump did say that. He said he fully authorized it. Are you suggesting we go to Greenland and shoot or imprison everyone there? No, why would we shoot and imprison? They don't have an army. We're not shooting or imprisoning anyone. We would have to. They have some type of air presence that would have to be taken care of. Those are Danish jets that are there now, so they would have to be taken care of. Whatever that looks like, I don't think they would even try and interfere with us, honestly. But we wouldn't really do anything to any of the people at all. We would take over the island. Does the YouTube verification? No, it already happened. It already happened. I think it happened at midnight last night. Greenland doesn't have a military. It's literally as simple as making a formal announcement. Yeah, that's probably what it is, honestly. I mean, what else would happen? What would any of the European countries do about it? They're not doing anything. Trump needs to be more authoritarian. He needs to be more like Putin, just annex Greenland. I think we should just annex it. I mean, I don't know why people would get angry, but it's good for the future. I mean, I've explained it. Thoughts on countries trading citizens to counterbalance the population? What do you mean by that? Trading citizens? How would that balance like demographics you're talking about? Trading citizens to make the demographics different? Because if you're trading citizens, you're not increasing your population. Yeah, they would try and. You're right. He would try and impeach Trump. Who is that? Al Smith or something? Yeah. You understand that annexing Greenland would have massive social psychological impact on how the entire world viewed the US. Yeah, I don't think that really matters when you're the most powerful military in the world. They already say everyone hates us because of Trump, so what does it matter? But really, people hating us is irrelevant. People still want to be our allies. They can't help themselves. We're too strong of an entity. A Dempole. What is ALTS? World Liberty, is that the coin that they're launching? You know, they're launching a governance token, World Liberty Financial. I knew they would. It's tradable too. So Trump's going to get a big chunk of that coin, I'm sure, the supply. He'll be able to sell it. World Liberty Financial token. They've got a bunch of meme coins surrounding it. You think a big issue that has to be addressed at some points is education reform? Well, now, you know, I've heard some of the southern states have done a decent job with improving the test scores of the kids there. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I mean, they got rid of the Department of Education, but it's a state thing. Noticed you scroll past Fuentes really fast. Huh. Oh, did ya? Is there something to be said for increasing the guard presence on the Capitol? Well, I think they should increase the presence because the crime is so bad. I mean, there's always heightened security around the Capitol for sure. But you know, it's those surrounding areas that are the surrounding neighborhoods that are really bad, and it's seeping into the elitist areas, and so. Thoughts on David Booth, $300 million donation to the University of Kansas? I saw that. Well, I don't know. Was that for their renovation or was that for their NIL? Because they're having a massive stadium renovation, so I wonder if that's what that's for. But I also saw people saying it was for their NIL. Because Kansas is renovating their stadium. It's a 2-part renovation. The phase 1 is done. Trump can keep them there for 30 days. You're 100% sure crime will drop because everyone will hide from the military for now. Oh, you mean more police presence makes crime go lower? I thought it was racist. Like, that's how ridiculous these people are. It was for KU athletics in general. Yeah, that's going to their NIL for sure. Well, he should have kept it because the way NIL works, you kind of have to be outside of it. You know, now supposedly they all have a pot of $20 million. You can, I don't even know what it is, but it's like $20 million. It's a salary cap now. But then the players still get the sponsorships or the licensing with the boosters outside. They can still do that. $75 million to finish the stadium, and then he's going to have them invest the other $225 million for additional revenue every year. Wow. Did you hear about the state-sponsored grocery store in Cincinnati that failed and cost $29 million to keep open? Yeah, but I heard they serve a mean bowl of rice. That's what those state grocery stores are. They're rice, beans, chicken. It's like going to fucking shopping in North Korea. They serve a mean bowl of rice. Then they force everyone else to close too, because, I mean, how do you compete with state money? They just undercut the prices. What other GOP states are we going to gerrymander? Probably Ohio and Florida are the two ones they can get multiple seats out of, I think. Ohio and Florida. I've heard Missouri as well, but that's just one seat. Do you think Trump's motives are sincere for the buildup of police in D.C.? Or is he about to do something stupid like take us to war with Iran? And they're there to... No, that's not it, man. That's not it. No. I mean, you can say Trump likes using his power, things like he's not doing it to... I mean, but why would you only do D.C.? Well, I mean, I guess because it's the cat. No, that's not... That's not in relation to us going to war with Iran. When there's more consequences for crime, crime rates go down. It's, yeah, but they think it's racist when you give them more consequences. That's the problem with their party. Dude, I know. Dude, he came back to the stream tonight looking for Clyde. He came back. He was like, dude, he's getting angry now. He's getting mad. He's starting to get angry now because I haven't shown Clyde in a while. He's getting to the point where he's like, all right, now I'm pissed off. Oh, man. War with Iran is inevitable. Well, maybe after Trump's gone, maybe Vance, dude, maybe Vance can lead with Palantir. I heard Vance has a special Palantir software he's ready to install in 2029 after he wins. Dude loves the cat. Dude, when I saw teens in high school and Adolf Hitler, I thought something is going to be something else.
Today's August 12th, and it is our second day of school. I teach high school. I teach U.S. history. And it is getting to the point that I
Smash
already
your pass.
am
Come on,
not
you're
sure
you
what I'm going
you're starting to get
say
desperate, Dean.
about some of the stuff that is going on. Because if you don't know, teenagers, these kids are very aware of what is going on, and they want to talk about it.
Dude, the
and
teenagers
they
are
want
the...
to understand why these things are happening, and they are truly worried. And it's hard to prevent them from drawing certain conclusions when you look at things from a historical context. I know full well that we're going to spend a lot of time talking about World War II, and they're very interested in it. They're very interested in learning about Hitler. The gravity of me being their high school history teacher is not lost on me. I can really impact how they see our country and how they understand history. And I know how important that was for me as a student and even as an adult. There's still things I find out all the time that I was never taught. And I'm a history teacher. And I'm still learning new things about American history all the time. But we are.
Oh. Benny boy. I used to when I was a teenager, I learned a lot about World War II. Alcohol consumption reaches a low, vaping reaches a high. Is vaping better? Chamberlain, Neville Chamberlain, you're saying? Now, Neville Chamberlain didn't want war. We know that.
For people to recognise that it's not right, it's not just a small act, it's a thing that can make someone feel really quite uncomfortable. So I think it's important Surrey Police are taking it so serious. It's one of our force priorities, and for me that makes me feel proud to work for Surrey Police, because for me it's such a personal experience, and I know for a lot of other, if not all other women who experience it. So I feel empowered to be a part of such an operation.
These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so prevalent.
They're arresting people for
catcalling.
catcalling.
Police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed or shouted at, pulling people over.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still need to be addressed. And of course, the people that are likely to commit those kind of behaviours, they may then go on to commit more serious offences.
Yeah, no, I don't like the tattoos. It'd be a pass if there's tattoos. I guess depends where the tattoos are located, but yeah, we know who the people are that's catcalling them for sure. It's and then they complain, and then they vote for more immigration. They vote for more immigration, and then the people that immigrate, then they're the ones that catcall them. So it's like, bitch, what do you want? We're trying to help you. We're trying to stop the immigration. You keep voting. The women always vote liberal. Then they complain about the high crime rates and not being able to go outside. What do you want us to do, bitch? We're trying to not allow it. But you keep voting for it. It is crazy that the UK had those Pakistani gangs. Remember that? And they're still accepting immigrants. What? Huh? Cat Turner libs of TikTok. normie final boss battle. that's the normie final boss battle. Libs of TikTok or cat turd. UK fell off after 1776. No, I mean, I know what you're saying, but they were still a great empire, but World War II, after World War II, it's becomes when the immigration starts turning, they went downhill. Every comment on cat. Yeah, but that's the normie response now. That's the normie response is to do that. But I mean I understand it, but then they have the internal civil war where cat turds like screw you, I support Trump. Then all these Republicans are like release the Epstein files. How dare you? But it's like, do they not understand? This is the fucking Trump administration. Do you really think Trump is going to release anything that's going to make him look bad? I mean, like, what are we talking about here? But I don't think Trump did anything, with Epstein. But I'm just saying. Do you think Conor McGregor will be president? No. Of Ireland? But you got to understand with Ireland, it's a I don't know, man. I'd have to really look at Ireland because I've seen they have some really nationalist marches and things like that, but it's a small minority. They're very liberal. They're more liberal than the UK. Ireland is, Ireland's a very small country and they can't even escape it. They're like the furthest away. They're so close to Iceland. They're just like, let us escape this. Nope. A million more Muslim migrants for you. But we never colonized anyone. 2 million now. If you say another word, it'll be 3 million. They can't even escape it. I gotta visit Ireland, I know. Enough with the ex-normie slop. Yeah, this is really all it is. My supporters demand it. Colin Rugpull. That gets recommended to me at least 50 times a night. This account. And wokeness. Not much cat turd. Sam, I appreciate it. Wishing you prosperity on your journey to eternal truth. We the people support and fight for the greater good of depressed ginger. It's a rewarding statement. It's an uplifting statement. It's a Shakespearean address. What an amazing donation. You had ChatGPT project the 2028 Republican primary. It says it's a deadlock tie between Vivek, Vance, and Ron. Not Defiant L. Defiant L literally sold his account, dude. It's just a promotion account now. But that response is wrong. There's no way it's a deadlock. I don't know where it's getting that from. It's getting a bad source if it's saying it's a deadlock. With Vivek, I don't even think would run. The Irish are retarded. They hate Irish Americans like me and deny them and their Irish identity, but some Jeter sub-Saharan African fresh off the boat, they say are yeah, I do think there is a lot of that with the liberal ones for sure. But there is some nationalism in Ireland. I mean, at a certain point, it's like there's got to be a tipping point. But the problem is, if Ireland is more liberal, I mean, it's gonna be a. They also they also don't like Israel, but almost for like the liberal reasons. Yeah, Defiant L is run by probably some Indian kid. These people are demanding I go to it. Are you offended by the Fighting Irish logo? Yeah, I have a website dedicated to trying to get it removed. It's embarrassing. It's a bad it's a negative it's a racist thwarp against Irish people. It's a negative stereotype. It says we're midgets, really? We're midget little leprechauns. Come on. Notre Dame should be good this year. Celtics logo, there's another one. There is another one. Every time you see a set, you're floored at the cost of them. Yeah, the Legos have gotten out of control. They got really bad during the pandemic. They haven't brought their prices back down. That's the problem. The prices never came back down with Lego. I don't buy any Lego sets from Lego because it's just overpriced. It's overpriced, and the pieces. There's not even that many pieces. The sets look bad. They're not detailed. They're not. The scale is minuscule because they try and save on pieces. That's the issue with it. A decade from now, Bitcoin is more likely to be worth $100 than $100,000. 2018. So many people got. I wonder what the Buttcoin is saying. Oh, I've got it right here, dude. This is really sad. New Yorker estimates Trump and his family have made 2.37 billion from crypto. Oh man. Then they have to try and cope. You base your entire ego off of the price of Bitcoin. Dude, you lost. You lost. Oh, it's a bubble. Yeah, it's a bubble, all right. I saw that Monero thing. There's not even this subreddit has completely lost. They're not even they react to Harvard giving in. Oh, Harvard gives in and they buy Bitcoin. Part of the shakedown deal with the Trump criminal. Oh my God, the cope. The cope, the cope, the cope. The cope is so crazy. I already played the Aaron Rodgers clip yesterday. Yeah, this is the trade I'm in. This is the meme coin trade. Electrogal. Just imagine when this breaks out. I already got like a 4x off of it. Just wait for it. Will you ever buy Bitcoin? I don't think me buying Bitcoin is needed. It's not needed. There's gonna be something. There's gonna be something. Well, listen, Bitcoin. It's like at a certain point, it gets so high in market cap, it's not really worth it. But I think Bitcoin is great, and I'm happy it's doing very well. It has to do well for crypto. Do you support the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Well, it's a very complicated question. On one hand, it saved a lot of Americans, a lot of maybe millions of soldiers' lives needlessly because they didn't want to surrender even though they lost. They knew they lost. They wanted us to invade. But I don't like using nuclear bombs on civilians. So, I mean, in some cases, to end a war, that was to end a war. It was there's not further escalation from that. So it's a specific case, and I'm not just saying it because I'm trying to cope for the U.S. That was to end a war. It wasn't like we were starting a war with a nuclear bomb. Those are two vastly different things. FaZe Banks coin, MLG, the MLG coin you're talking about. Yeah, FaZe Banks is a clown. Have you seen him? How is that? That dude's. It's just he looks like a weirdo. Dude's got just a bunch of tattoos. He's like a white rapper. Dude, why do people keep trying to predict when I'm going to end the stream? Now it's making me not want to end it when you do that. No love life. Yeah, people asking about my love life. Nukes on civilian populations is terrible. I agree. That's why I said that. I said it was bad. I said, but they were trying to end it. They didn't want to end it. They're in Japan it's an honor code, and so we said you're gonna lose. You need to end. You need to stop. They said no. You need to come invade us. We don't want to do that. We're gonna lose troops. Well. Are you surprised that Bush did not nuke someone in the Middle East after 9/11? I mean, that would have been a ridiculous escalation compared, I would be surprised if they nuked someone after 9/11, honestly. I guess weapons of mass destruction, they could justify it, but do you stream video games? No, not I don't really stream any video games right now. Are you playing zombies after this? I haven't played zombies in a while. I sometimes I'll play it like I used to play it a lot in June. You know what? This is what happened. I was playing zombies most nights in June, and then the Iran thing happened. And so, I got a bunch of money or I got a bunch of views and some donations and stuff. So I kept streaming and I stopped playing it and I never started again. But it comes in cycles. I'll play it like 1 or 2 months here and there, and I was playing it in like early June with people. I had a few guys that I had met on there, and we were playing some of the maps. But what happened was the Iran situation came up, and so I had to keep streaming later. So then I stopped playing. That's all you see us as, money and views. Well, honestly, it'd probably make sense for me to do videos right now rather than stream. But I'd just rather stream. After the stream, do you research for other videos? No, normally I'm done for the night. I'm not going to do that. Thoughts on the weather this week? Far too hot. 86 degrees right now at 10 o'clock at night. It's terrible. There's no way it's 80. It says on my fucking weather thing 86 degrees. Oh, no, it's not updated. Because it says it's sunny. Let me look up the weather right now. I'll tell you. 73 degrees. Is it 73 degrees right now? 73 degrees. I need it in the 60s at 10 o'clock at night. You think the Soviet era nukes are still active? Well, most of their military is Soviet era. The Russians, they got a lot of old shit. You know what I would love to... I wonder if that's still around. You guys know about the abandoned space. It's like Cosmodome or whatever. I want to visit that. I don't know where that is. It might even be in one of the countries surrounding Russia. That was formerly a part of the Soviet Union. I don't know where that's located. Cosmodome, maybe? Alright, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I am going to go ahead and end it. You should create a poly market when you're going to end your next stream. Yeah, it'd have like $100 of volume on it from two dudes who keep trying to predict it. The under 10 minutes hit. Well, congratulations. All right, guys. I'll see you.